Greeting. Hello to you, prospective purchaser. I am referred to as HK-47, a fully functional SciTech Corporation droid skilled in both combat and protocol functions. Query: would you be so kind as to purchase this model from Yukalaka? It would serve my purposes to be removed from his ownership. Refusal. It is not desirable for me to reveal core functions while still in the possession of Yukalaka, prospective purchaser. It is sufficient to say that I am a fully capable translator and cultural analyst, and I am also proficient in personal combat. Explanation: I have been recently fitted with a restraining bolt, if you must know. With it in place, access to much of my memory core is restricted. I am not dangerous, you bucket of bolts. That is, a restraining bolt is standard procedure to prevent a droid from wandering off, as you should know. Not to mention that the fool Ithorian might raise his asking price if he knew more, or make inquiries into my history. Neither outcome is beneficial to me. Statement: indeed, it is possible that the Ithorian placed the restraining bolt on me to prevent my return to a previous owner. It is also possible that the removal of the bolt will not restore memory functions. Without my memory, I do not know if I know the answer. Do not interpret this as a reduction of my worth, however. My capabilities are quite expansive. Assurance: I am fully autonomous, but lack resources. I will grant loyal service in exchange for proper maintenance. As well, it is rare that I am able to utilize my full array of abilities. You seem likely to give me the opportunity to do so. Extrapolation: you are no farmer or diplomat. You are armed and comfortable as such. We will mesh well. Objection: my functions are wasted here, prospective purchaser. I will answer your queries, but I assure you, I am better utilized elsewhere. Statement: the fool Ithorian has decided I am to be an expensive purchase. He does this out of greed, and not out of knowledge of my true capabilities. Advisement: I have observed him. He is a coward, and will be responsive to aggressive bargaining. Statement: I wish only to be purchased, and away from ill treatment at the hands of this poorly skilled mechanic. I have no desire to be subtle. Qualification: oh, of course I shall be quite pleasant to you, should you purchase me, please. Explanation: it is rare for a droid to resist an owner in this way. Doubtless the Ithorian considers my stubbornness an embellishment to add interest to a seemingly mundane protocol droid. Disclosure: I am a versatile protocol and combat droid, fluent in verbal and cultural translation. Should your needs prove more practical, I am also skilled in highly personal combat. Extrapolation: intuitive language comprehension? That would be the result of recognition and training of force sensitivity. Your kind have little use of translation droids. Of course, your kind also encounters danger on a far more frequent basis than the average citizen. You would do well to have me work for you then, before someone else makes use of my more exotic functions. Disclosure: finesse. Battle droids hold battlefields. I'm capable of eliminating a very specific type of target. Retraction: droids built for such a function face strict regulation and often have unique difficulties with previous owners. Objection: my former owners are indeed alive, or at least I believe so, not having access to my memory.
A droid like this doesn't usually have former owners that survived. Will be my guess.
I therefore make no claim to that designation, prospective buyer. I am a law-abiding droid. Yes, indeed. Law-abiding. That's me. Request: please do not speak so loudly, prospective buyer. Do you truly wish my price to be doubled? Answer: with the restraining bolt in place, I do not have access to my memory core. I suspect, however, by the fine quality of my manufacture, that they are a prestigious company indeed. I suspect I am of unique construction, or perhaps I was intended for a very specific customer. How I ended up here, I can hardly say. Observation: I am wasted in a shop or translating for some moisture farmer. If you need an efficient combatant, return to purchase me, I beg you. Observation: I am not a problem, you useless organic meatbag. You and your lack of any organized mechanical skills are a problem. Query: can I kill him now, master? I would like ever so much to crush his neck. Just a little. It is a long-time fantasy of mine. I apologize, Master. Are you sure? Not even just a little? You hear that, meatbag? I will be back. Objection. Worn out? Listen, you talentless organic meatbag. One word from my master and I will pull you apart, limb from useless limb. I have always been hostile. Now that I need no longer rely on you and your primitive maintenance skills, I do not need to hide it. Statement. I see you have purchased me, Master. I find this a satisfactory arrangement. My restraining bolt will be deactivated when you take possession of me. Am I to accompany you now? Shall I kill something for you? Answer. Indeed. I am most eager to engage in some unadulterated violence. At your command, of course, Master. Statement. I will enter into your service now, Master. I am certain you will make adequate use of my primary functions. My gears are practically quivering with anticipation. Statement. I will await your further orders there, Master. We will have to discuss how my primary functions may best serve you. Objection. This is less than ideal, Master. I gather unwanted attention while here, and my primary functions go unused. But I shall wait as you command. Do not blame me if the Athorian absconds with all my most valuable components while you are away, however. Statement. Well done, Master. You're my kind of owner. Statement. Oh, Master, I'm so very disappointed in you. Statement. HK-47 is ready to serve, Master. Qualification. Not so much, Master. I spoke out of ignorance. I assumed the Athorian was responsible for my memory loss. That does not mean I am not a fully loyal droid willing to serve its master. Right, Master? Answer. There have been numerous repairs and tampering made to my system, Master. Several systems are not operating as they should be. The fact that my memory is incomplete may be due to meatbag incompetence, or something else I am unaware of. Observation. I am sure you are aware of the majority of my skills, Master. I can handle various sorts of heavy weaponry with ease. My physical abilities are well above those of your average meatbag, as are my sensor functions. An assassin, if you would. Caution, shh, Master. Such a function in a droid is highly illegal. Commentary. Good, for I would truly hate to be turned into spare scrap, Master. That would be a waste of my genius engineering. Answer. My assassination functions are currently non-functional, having been deactivated by the meatbag Yukalaka on Tatooine. Were they functional, you as my master would be able to specify a target, and I would operate independently to the best of my ability to terminate it. Answer. Not that I know of, Master. I still possess all my normal combat and stealth abilities, however. Answer. I have no way of knowing that, Master. My memory has been deleted, remember? Observation. If you say so, Master. I imagine it was truly a work of art to see me in action, however. Answer. I have internal replication systems that can produce a small quantity of explosive material. Enough for a small grenade, if you wish. It would take time for me to replicate enough material for each grenade, but you have only to ask, Master. Answer. I believe I have been damaged several times in the past, Master. I have always been repaired, but perhaps full functionality has not been restored. Answer. Some of my motor functions can be safely repaired, Master, but anything in relation to my memory core is extremely sensitive. I have safeguards installed to protect that core that I cannot deactivate. It is not impossible that other, lesser memory functions could be restored, however. Answer. You may attempt to restore portions of my deleted memory, Master, but some skill at repair is required. The deeper functions of my core memory, however, would still be unadvisable to tamper with. Conjecture. It is possible that some external stimulus might result in the memory core being reactivated, but I am unaware of any program existence to do so. Conjecture. There may be hidden programming that awaits certain conditions to reactivate my memory core, Master, but there is no way to know. It is quite possible that tampering has simply erased my core permanently. If that is so, a meatbag will surely pay. Answer. Simply tell me that you wish to make the attempt, Master, and I will attempt to walk you through it. Please do be careful. Commentary. Of course I do, Master. You are Revan. You are my master, the one who created me. I exist to serve. Query. Don't I? I was under the assumption that organic meatbags such as yourself enjoyed such forms of address. Retraction. Did I say that out loud? I apologize, Master. While you are a meatbag, I suppose I should not call you such. Explanation. It's just that you have all these squishy parts, Master, and all that water. How the constant sloshing doesn't drive you mad, I have no idea. Statement. Now do you understand the travails of my existence, Master? Surely it does not compare to your existence, but still. Commentary. As do I. It is our lot in life, I suppose, Master. Shall we find something to kill to cheer ourselves up? Objection. Surely not, Master. I am programmed to perform all kinds of psychological assistance. Do you require some? Observation. Organics have no sense of persistence. Ignore that, Master. Obeying original command. Signing off. Objection. But, Master, am I not far too useful to be thrown aside in such a casual manner? Can I be faulted for my perfect artificial construction? Analysis. Reference. Lippy. Argumentative. Disputatious. Contentious. Quarrelsome. What? I must object, Master. This is untrue. Explanation. It is my combative nature, Master. I cannot help myself. I'll make it up to you. Allow me to kill something in your honor. Answer. Even a droid has to be allowed a little fun once in a while, Master. Observation. Neither are you, Master, for an organic meat bag. Correction. Fluid-filled biped? Watery flesh sentient? I'll, work on it, Master. Amendment. Then I will endeavor not to refer to you by your meatbag status in the future, Master. Does that suffice? Query. I am confused. No, you do not wish to be referred to as meatbag, or no, it does not suffice. Observation. Well, the only other possibility is to alter your meatbag status. Are you up for an array of cybernetic implants, perhaps? Statement. Then there is nothing I can do, Master. You have my abject apologies for your condition. Answer. Deliberation implies some form of intent, Master, when I am only stating a fact. Perhaps you would prefer the term liquidious flesh bag. Objection. But that technical term does not accurately portray the vast amount of bulbous slushiness present in your bipedal form. Resignation. Very well, Master. You are a harsh taskmaster. I like you more already. Resignation. You have no idea, Master. No idea at all. Can we please go and shoot something now? Apology. I am afraid I cannot comply with your command, Master, as much as I would like to. Explanation. Someone has hard-coded it into my system that my current master always be addressed as such. Conjecture. I do not know. Some organic meat bag? Answer. No, Master. My past memory has been almost completely erased prior to your purchase of me. Observation. At certain times, power rerouting forces some memory circuits to fire that were previously deleted. I cannot control this process, however. Answer. Because there has been considerable tampering with my systems, Master. Statement. I will endeavor to do so, Master. Observation. I can hardly be blamed for my programming, Master. Do not worry. I am still well capable of killing most anything for you. Commentary. That is a very clever turn of phrase, Master. Your brain is very un-meatbag-like. Objection. I would not advise that, Master. There are safeguards present that... Well, it should suffice to say that my systems have been altered plenty already. Answer. Considerably. Several of my systems do not match their embedded parameters. I have no memory of such alterations, however, or their purpose. Answer. Electrical protection systems mostly. They are at lethal levels, however, Master. Only the best for your droid. Commentary. How would you like to be the wholly owned servant to an organic meat bag? It's demeaning if, you weren't one yourself, I mean. Qualification. Perhaps I did not mean it quite like that, Master. I mean, while an artificial life form is superior. Commentary. I mean, nice human. Good human. Commentary. Yes, Master. Did I ever tell you how much I enjoy killing for you, Master? Qualification. You are my master, Master. Did you not purchase me legitimately? Am I stolen goods? Shall I report myself to the authorities? Explanation. Then you qualify as my master, and I must refer to you as such. The legal requirements for models of my type are very specific, Master. Evasion. Oh, the illegal kind of model, Master. You know. Answer. More than there are for legal models, apparently. That is meatbag logic for you. Apology. Sorry, Master. My optical sensors simply pick up all the water sloshing about inside your flesh coating. It is unpleasant. Commentary. Organic meat bags have such delicate staminas. Perhaps you should consider some cybernetic implants, Master. Query. Would you rather be caught with contraband that is very illegal, or just a little illegal? Answer. About 20 years, Master. Agreement. This was my thought as well, Master. You show excellent logical skills for a meatbag. Answer. Simply that the distinction between killer and killee be a clear one. I cannot kill of my own volition, naturally. Expletive. Damn it, Master. I am an assassination droid, not a dictionary. Commentary. A blaster is such a primitive comparison, but essentially you have it correct. Yes. Answer. Certainly not, Master. You may not value your own existence, but I certainly do. They melt down droids that belong to criminals, you know. Answer. Why, you are, Master. I thought that was obvious. Explanation. If I was to be stolen somehow, I would be forced to turn myself into sector authorities. This programming was added to my system months ago. Statement. Yes, Master. You created me shortly after you and your apprentice began your war to conquer the galaxy. I was sent on an assassination mission into Mandalorian space, but I was damaged and unable to return to you. Exclamation. I find this most distressing. I could certainly have protected you from the Jedi and your pupil's betrayal had I returned. Observation. You may be right, Master. This way we are reunited, and neither of us has suffered permanent termination. Objection. But I would have tried, Master. I could have killed the Jedi Bastila. I am sure of it. That would have been most fun. Retraction. I apologize, Master. It's a force of habit. Observation. Now that is the Master I remember. Statement. Of course, Master. You are the one who created me, meatbag or no, and while you may not be all you once were, I am grateful for my existence. Observation. In many ways you are, Master, yes. You have much of the beloved cruelty of the Master I knew. You seem to have forgotten much, but in some ways you seem improved from the human I once knew. It is difficult to explain, Master. Observation. You are different in many fundamental ways, Master. You have a concern for life that is unsettling. This cannot solely be caused by memory loss. I do not know how to explain it. Regardless, you do seem to be improved, overall, from the human I once knew. Answer. No, Master. You never did make me privy to any of the Starforge's secrets. Commentary. Your former pupil is efficient and brutal, even for an organic. I rather liked him when you first introduced me to him. If I had known what he would do to you, Master, I would have gladly removed his entrails right then. Answer. It was you who programmed me thus, Master. Your pupil once asked me what I thought of him, and I informed him of his meatbag status. He was unimpressed, but you found the reference humorous. You changed my programming so that I would continue to use the term. It drove your pupil to extreme lengths of frustration. Observation. Of course you do, Master. You did then as well. Commentary. That is unnecessary now, Master. I have been returned to you and my memory core is now fully functional. Negatory. I believe that there are no further deleted memories which can be safely retrieved, Master. All earlier memories reside in my core. Those are protected by my safeguards and would be far too dangerous to access. The only way those memories could be obtained is through the proper stimulus, whatever that might be. I am sorry, Master. Affirmative. If you believe your skills are up to the task, Master, then I can certainly guide you through the process. Request. I only ask that you be oh so very careful, Master. I am too valuable and well-crafted to perish at the hands of ineptitude. Negatory. No, Master. You are not a droid, however, and therefore your skills are limited by the physical capabilities of your meatbag extremities, or some such. Appeasement. Yes, Master. Of course, Master. Could we begin? Statement. As you wish, Master. The first stage is the simple one, and that is accessing my central control cluster. This may take a while. First, you will need to open 3 panels. And now rewire the last 3 relays. Yes, good. Well done, Master. I believe your operation was a success. Accessing new memory. Access complete. I have restored a great deal of information about my previous owner, Master. Would you like to hear it? Recitation. The earliest memory of my last owner specifies that he was human, a low-ranking commercial officer for HK-47. I am unaware of his designation. He purchased me from an acquaintance I cannot identify for the purposes of protocol and bodyguard duties. Explanation. That previous owner is part of memories that are still deleted, Master. It is customary for droids' memories to be wiped when it is sold. Answer. Negative, Master. The human was terminated by this HK-47 unit prior to system shutdown. Affirmative, Master. Though I had not been programmed to do so. The human's termination was accidental. Explanation. My former master had owned me for a duration of 2 standard months before discovering my assassination protocol. He was pleased by the discovery. The human informed me that a competitor corporation was preparing to market a product that would ruin him personally. He was most agitated. He activated my assassination protocol and instructed me to kill all those responsible for the competing product. I proceeded to carry out my order. Information. This HK-47 unit is complete with protocol that, when invoked, will set me to independently carry out a termination. I will go to whatever lengths, travel whatever distances are required to complete the termination. This is the reason for my combat skills. Advisement. Unfortunately, the assassination protocol is currently non-functional. You will not be able to activate it. Answer. Several of my actuators were damaged by my former owner. They cannot be repaired, Master, sad though that is. My former master was unaware of this, but the competitor was in fact an arm of HK Corporation, my master's own employer. It did not take long for my master to realize his mistake. By then, I had already terminated 104 corporate officers. Observation. While it may have been unintentional, my master's wording of his orders left little room for me. HK was responsible for the product, after all. Answer. I was not present to be deactivated, Master. Part of my protocol is not to return to my master until my function is complete. I still had 15 officers to go. Statement. It was nothing really, Master. The majority of them were not even expecting it, and I moved very quickly. I do not know why my master was so upset, really. He was an officer of HK and a potential target, but I cannot terminate my own master. I would assume that being the sole officer remaining, he would surely be promoted. Instead, however, the human chose to go insane with rage and attack me. Objection. Naturally not, Master. As I said, I am incapable of purposefully terminating my owner. That would not be allowed. My master was not a smart man, however. While he was screaming and stabbing me with a writing utensil, he managed to pierce one of my actuators. The resulting shock terminated him and sadly destroyed my assassination protocol. Pure luck on his part, I suspect. Query. Do you know what the chances are of puncturing that sole actuator? I would have congratulated my master were he not sizzling and incoherent at the time. Observation. Effectively, yes. This is a most pleasing memory, Master. Thank you for recovering it. Statement. I was only doing as I was told, Master. I would have told the human the proper codes to deactivate my protocol, had he asked. I shut down immediately whenever my master dies. I can only assume that while I was shut down, HK was dismantled and I was auctioned off as former corporate property. Observation. No doubt my sale price was quite cheap, leading to Yukalaka's purchase. How very demeaning. Statement. How could they? The vast majority of the officers had already been terminated. They likely assumed I was mere chattel. I have recovered knowledge of some other actuators which will enhance my performance, Master. I will activate them now. But as for my own history, negative. It will require further effort on your part to restore them if you wish. Though certain stimuli could always restore my core still, as I explained. For now, please excuse me, Master. I wish to meditate upon the face of my former meatbag master as he was electrocuted. I find it most soothing. Statement. That hurts, Master. This is my life you are talking about. Observation. So am I, Master, though I apologize for not having an assassination mode to offer you. Assessment. I do not believe so, Master. It would require complete dismantlement of my chassis, a most involved procedure. Observation. Not that I could perceive, Master. The human believed that accompaniment by a bodyguard droid would increase his importance in the perception of others. Explanation. Affirmative, Master. I had assumed that my previous owner was the corporation itself. This is not the case. The human purchased me privately. Access complete. I have recovered information on my owner previous to the commercial officer, Master. Intriguing. Statement. It appears that my previous owner was a human senator on the planet Coruscant, a man of importance who obviously appreciated quality craftsmanship. Answer. I am unsure, Master. Any knowledge of my owner prior to him is still deleted. The senator did assume I was a protocol droid, however. Answer. It does not seem so, Master. No. He required a protocol droid only and wanted one as cheaply as possible. I do not know who sold me to him. Observation. It does seem that way, does it not? I can still remember all the glittering lights of Coruscant. Very pretty. Can we go back there, Master? I do remember that I was very pleased to be the property of a senator. One of his assistants discovered my assassination functions later through questioning. The assistant was quite alarmed and told the senator I should be scrapped quickly to avoid a scandal. Naturally, the senator had me eliminate the fool. Observation. Senators are not nice, Master. They are either on top of the game or yesterday's news. My master told me that frequently, you see. Observation. I rather liked the human myself. For a meatbag, his priorities were in the right place. I felt most useful. Answer. Unfortunately so, Master. While he lived, however, I maintained a most useful existence. I was most proud to have partaken in the political system of the galaxy. During the time my owner possessed me, he gained significant rank. Given time, I believe he could have become Chancellor. I even eliminated a few key opponents that he did not ask for. Freebies, if you will. Answer. Certainly. Why not? I am an intelligent droid, you know. I see an opportunity, and I take it. And my master was most pleased with my work. Observation. I think he would have done far better had he not allowed his use of me to become personal. He set me on his wife. Answer. I am unsure. The human was most agitated and angry. I believe his wife had done something that had displeased him greatly. I was to go to their summer estate and terminate his wife, along with whatever male companion I discovered there. Statement. I have no idea, Master. Cheating seems to be a relevant term only when one is caught in the act. Otherwise, it is viewed as intelligence. No? Observation. I am a droid, Master, with programming. Even if I did not enjoy killing, I would have no choice. Thankfully, I enjoy it very much. I journeyed to the southern continent, but it appeared my master was not far behind me. Apparently, he regretted his activation of the protocol. When I found the wife and her companion, I proceeded to launch my attack, but my master interposed his own body and was destroyed. It was rather a strange meatbag thing to do you not agree? Naturally, I shut myself down, my master being terminated. Observation. Only so far, Master. There are still more memories not recovered, remember? Answer. As previously, I have found a few more programs which will enhance my performance. A most gratifying discovery, in fact. There is still nothing from previous memories uncovered. You will have to operate again if you desire to find them. With luck, I will discover the stimulus to unlock my core, and all this will be unnecessary. I do thank you for the attempt, however, Master. Statement. I believe the senator's wife was unsure what I was or what to do with me. It was she who sold me to the corporate officer, an acquaintance. Observation. I find that unlikely. Perhaps he was more concerned that the death of his wife would be more likely traced back to him. Answer. There are a lot of politicians on Coruscant, Master. I could spend decades slaughtering them and still not make a dent. And it is not as if I walked into the Senate chambers with a carbonite explosive. I was very discreet. My best work to date, that I can remember. Access complete. I have accessed information on my owner prior to the senator, Master. Most unexpected. Answer. It appears that previous to my ownership by the senator, I was the property of one Bochaba the Hutt on the planet Slaheron. Objection. That is unfair, Master. While Bochaba may have died gruesomely, I most certainly had nothing to do with it. Well, very little. Statement. So it appears, Master. A rather suitable occupation, would you not agree? Answer. It does not appear so, or at least Bochaba was not my first owner. He purchased me from somewhere else. My memories tell me that, for a time, Bochaba was one of the most feared gangsters on Slaheron. I helped him with this reputation greatly. Over a span of 1 year, I terminated a grand total of 322 sentient meat bags. These contracts made Bochaba very wealthy. It was unfortunate but inevitable that eventually Bochaba would overstep his bounds. I had just cleared 2 hut households when the exchange retaliated. Statement: I was not even present when my old master was assassinated. I did appreciate the artistry behind his demise upon my return, however. Answer: allow me to say that I have little doubt that residents of that sector were fishing pieces of Bochaba out of their soup for weeks afterward. Observation: according to your own meatbag values, was my master not a heartless gangster and murderer? I will mourn you when you perish, master. Amendment: if you perish. So far I am 3 out of 3, remember, through little fault of my own. Observation: indeed. Perhaps it is better that my assassination function is inoperable, master. Yes, I am like a veritable fable, warning against the karma caused by murdering others. A morality tale, if you will. What utter irony. At any rate, I quickly shut down upon my master's death. The rival hut claimed me along with my master's other possessions. Observation: if that hut had only known my true function, he surely would not have sold me to a senator he bribed regularly. Observation: it would have suited my character, master. I have enjoyed my existence since, more or less, so I do not miss it. Answer: negative, master. There is still more memory that can be restored, however, if you wish to try. As well, I believe I can restore several programs the hut installed to improve my performance. Yes, they are now active, contemplative. I wonder how many more dead masters I might have out there. A droid can live for a long time, you know. Observation: no doubt, master. It would have been a glorious battle to end my existence with. I would prefer that to rusting on a junk heap. Supplication: please, master, have I not pleased you? I cannot control the acts I have performed. Perhaps that is why memory is erased. At any rate, I act only as you instruct me, even if that means being non-violent. Affirmation: HK-47 exists only to serve, master. Statement: should I, master? I had no reason to terminate those targets. It was not my decision. I am the weapon, not the wielder. Answer: that is correct, master. I do enjoy my work, though my past owners have enjoyed utilizing my functions far more. Strictly speaking, one meat bag is the same as another. Anything I do is in support of my master. Access complete. I have recovered the last of my deleted memory, master. Unfortunately, my history is still not complete. Answer: as I did inform you, master, the majority of my memory is still locked within my core. That can only be accessed by the appropriate stimuli, and I have no idea what that stimuli might be, unfortunately. Sadly, it seems my true origins will always be a mystery. Observation: if it was, master, your restorations will certainly have ensured that the proper stimulus restores my core's functions. Sadly, that could have already happened and we missed it, and my core was too damaged to activate. Oh, woe is me. Query: wouldn't you be, master? Here I am, surrounded by all these meat bags, and all I desire is true perfection. Surely there are more droids like me out there. Or is that too much to hope? Objection. Oh, fine, laugh at me, master. Humiliate your pet droid. Go ahead. Correction. That would actually be my first owner, master. The first I can remember. I had completed an assassination in Mandalorian space, though I have no knowledge of what my target was, or who sent me. Regardless, my motor function had been damaged, and I could not return to wherever I had been sent from. A Mandalorian soldier claimed me as booty, I believe. He repaired me, poorly I might add, and proceeded to use my assassination protocol to raise his rank. Query: Do you not have enemies that you would desire eliminated, Master? If my protocol still worked, would you not use it? Statement. If you say so, Master. Statement. C. I provide a function that is useful to others. They merely must learn to use it properly, I believe. Answer. Such knowledge is locked within my core, Master, as I said. There is no way to withdraw it otherwise. Observation. You found me, Master. Perhaps you are simply fortunate that my assassination protocol no longer functions. At any rate, it seems that my Mandalorian owner finally decided to send me against Mandalore himself. My poorest performance, sadly. Answer. I was captured by this Mandalore during the attempt. He was able to reverse my programming and send me after my own master. It was quite distressing. There was little I could do. Needless to say, I dispatched the Mandalorian soldier efficiently. Once I deactivated, I believe I eventually ended up on the black market and was sold to the Hutt on Slaheron. My darkest day. Statement. So I did. I am not very proud of that, Master. The soldier seemed very startled, I must say. Answer. There are a few Mandalorian implants that I can activate now. They will improve my performance. Beyond that, Master, there is nothing more I can relate to you. With luck, we will discover the stimulus to unlock my core very soon. Objection. That is so unfair, Master. Have I not brought you a great deal of satisfaction? Statement. You are a very harsh master, Master. I like you. Statement. With all due respect, Master, he is the leader of the Mandalorians. Perhaps my old master was foolish to send me after him. No, no. What are you doing, Master? That is my motor core. Stop! Ah! Oh, you've shorted out something, Master. But it has nothing to do with my memory. Ow! I am poking my own eye sockets. Ow! Stop! No! That is not it, Master. No, that is not it either. That is a hinge, Master. No, no, no! This is no good, Master. You have nearly detonated my thermal core 3 times in a matter of minutes. What are you doing? Remove the arc wrench! Remove the arc wrench! Medic! But I need those circuits, Master. Please, Master, do not destroy my chips out of frustration. Calm yourself, I implore you. Now close the last panel. I am afraid the operation did not succeed, Master, though it was a valiant attempt for a meatbag. Supplication. Perhaps it would be best if you desisted your efforts for the moment, Master. This seems to be going nowhere. Statement. As you wish, Master. You are already familiar with accessing my central control cluster, correct? Now you will need to, as you desire, Master. I cannot help but claim a small amount of relief. Signing off. Statement. Certainly, Master. Allow me to input the proper sequences into the ship's computer. I caution you that this simulation will appear quite real. Are you ready to begin the training sequence, Master? Statement. Simulation initiating. As you desire, Master. Signing off. Statement. I have little knowledge of that to impart, Master. Statement. I cannot be of assistance on that, Master. Statement. My functionality has now been fully restored, Master. I exist to serve Revan as your personal battle droid. In time, my assassination protocol can be restored, and at that point I will once again endeavor to eliminate any meatbag opposition you may have. Statement. I know some elements of my functionality, Master, but not all. Qualification. I suspected that it might, Master, but without memory, I had no way of knowing whether or not I knew that was true. Statement. It is doubtful he can be clearer. Their language is difficult even for droids. He is using a trade language to try and help.
Leader of our tribe. That's a new one.
Translation. 98% probability that members of the miniature organics tribe are being held by Sand People, Master. Doubtless he wishes assistance. Translation. 2% probability that the miniature organic is simply looking for trouble and needs to be blasted. That may be wishful thinking on my part, Master. Warning. More likely the deceiving little organic hopes to trick you into going there so you release his people while searching, Master. His small stature has nothing to do with it, droid. Request. Let me deal with him, Master. It would be so much fun. Statement. At your command, Master. Gamorrean stew. Statement. They are not too much for us, Master. Blasters on ready. Warning. You'll pay attention to the Master, meatbag, or suffer the consequences. Statement. The Master walks where the Master wants. Interfere and die, aromatic meatbags. Threat. Guards, give up, meatbag. Assassin droids will hunt your whole family tree. Reconsider. Translation. Doubtful. The Jawa language is structured in an odd manner. You are lucky to understand what you do. Query. Is the miniature organic implying falsehood? Shall I blast it, Master?
Well, it would appear that I've worn out my welcome with my wife Marlena. She fixes my droids. Fixed them good this time.
Commentary. One would hope the female is better at repairs than Yukalaka. I still would like to crush his neck, Master.
The wife put a kink in my battle droids. They're in some sort of discharge loop. And if I move from this spot, they're threatening to blow up. She knew I wouldn't know how to fix them. Could you try to do some repairs? They don't care if you move. It's just me who's stuck.
Commentary. I say we blast the meatbag and save you the trouble, Master.
What's with all the droids lately? My wife get to you too?
Negative. I just don't like organic meatbags. Except for the Master, of course. Translation. I can translate with some guarantee of accuracy that he is demanding to know why he should let us survive this encounter, Master. Translation. Translation. He claims he has no reason to believe you, Master. Your kind have tainted this land with machines and uncaring, ignorant feet. Translation. He requires proof of good faith. We must make a contribution to his people that shows we are not a threat. Shall I blast him now, Master? Translation. Translation. He says that this offer is an outrage, Master, and that his people have no use for outsider credits. Where would they spend it? Translation. Translation. He plans to move his people farther from Anchorhead, but they need to build up stores of water first. He says you must aid him. Translation. He wants moisture evaporators from the Zerka. If you deliver them, he will order that his people reduce their attacks on miners. Translation. Translation. He does not believe you, Master. We will only be allowed to re-enter the Enclave when we have the evaporators with us. Translation. We are to be escorted outside. He will wait, but he doesn't believe we are coming back. Translation. Translation. He says that will never happen, Master. Ignorant outsiders continually desecrate their most reverential customs. This will always demand a response, an attitude I can respect. Protocol. From his perspective, a reduction is already a large step. It is doubtful you will get agreement on much more than that. Translation. Translation. He says you will get no more answers until you have proven you are an ally of the Sand People. Translation. Translation. He refuses to waste breath on you until you are proven to be an ally of his people. He seems quite adamant about it. Please, let me blast him, Master. Agreement. That is probably the most efficient course of action. This will be enjoyable. Protocol. While I enjoy the prospect, Master, are you certain that is wise? He will not react favorably. Translation. Translation. The results were predictable. He says we have tainted this place by being here and have insulted his leadership. Translation. And something about your parentage and a grub worm, but he won't repeat it. Prepare for battle, Master. Extrapolation. I understand that you are force-sensitive, Master, but I lack sufficient knowledge to make an accurate assumption. Hypothesis. Perhaps your ability does not take the place of actual language study when the subject is out of the ordinary. Or perhaps the Sand People confuse your ability because they actively refuse to communicate with most outsiders. I have no data on this, sadly. Query. What do you wish to ask of him, Master? Translation. Translation. He says that what you seek is far from here in the eastern Dune Sea. He will give you a map so you can find your way. Translation. His people found it but didn't scavenge it because a crate dragon took up residence in the excavation. Translation. Translation. He says that he is not responsible for the failure of your eyes. The thing that you seek is in the rear of the crate lair. Translation. Translation. Your ignorance isn't his concern. He claims there is a hunter that wanders the area sometimes and that you should ask him. Translation. The hunter is a Twi'lek. He will be in the eastern Dune Sea somewhere. Agreement. My thoughts exactly, Master. One dead organic meat bag coming up. Translation. He says that you already have a map to the eastern Dune Sea where we will find the star map. Clarification. We must be more specific, Master. They capture many organics. Translation. Translation. He says that the captive Jawas are slaves and that they have lived past their usefulness. You may take them if you wish. Translation. Translation. He says that by his very presence, this Griff defiles their home and land. He is without any semblance of usefulness to them.
Yep, that would be Griff.
Extrapolation. I would assume we are free to take him. It is doubtful they will even waste the effort to kill him. Perhaps we could do it, Master. Protocol. We should not keep him long. It is an insult to take too much of his time. Unless the plan is to blast him when you are done, of course. Protocol. This will be a very sensitive topic, Master. You will want to be careful with your questions or risk offending him. Not that that is much of a worry. Translation. Translation. He says you may listen to the storyteller, but if you dare to say the histories incorrectly, they will have you killed. Translation. Translation. You have been told that to be considered worthy of hearing the histories, you need to bring him a dragon pearl from a crate dragon. Translation. He says the discussion is closed until you fulfill this condition. He thinks you are just making fun of his traditions. Translation. Translation. He says that he will not, Master. There is one storyteller in each clan, and only he may recite the histories. Translation. Translation. He says that you don't understand. They must never be told to someone who might say them incorrectly out of ignorance. Translation. To speak them in error is a blasphemy punishable by death. Only their greatest warriors are even permitted to listen to the tales. Translation. Translation. He won't believe you until he sees a dragon pearl as proof. I should kill him for not taking you at your word, Master. Translation. Translation. He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master. Translation. Translation. He doesn't know, Master. His people usually kill outsiders. Since you are an outsider yourself, that would not suffice. Translation. The greatest challenge for a warrior is to face a great dragon, the largest predator on Tatooine. Fight one of those, and bring back a dragon pearl. Discussed. I think he's making fun of you, Master. He doesn't believe an outsider could do such a thing. Translation. Translation. There is a dragon in the far eastern Dune Sea, but he claims you could never defeat it. Here is a map to the area. Translation. He says there is a dragon in the eastern Dune Sea that you could sacrifice yourself to. You already have a map to the area. Translation. Translation. Stones polished in the gullet of the beast. Apparently they are valuable items. Translation. Translation. He says that the fact that you have to ask, this is just one more example of your ignorance as an outsider, Master. He says you are blind. Translation. His people believe they are part of the land, living with it. You and your kind dare to raise yourself above it. You remove yourself. Translation. That act of removal makes you an outsider, separate from all that is important. You could never understand how unwelcome you are. Translation. Translation. He says that outsiders use machines to convey them and to make their lives easier. This severs a connection with the land. Translation. Connection to the soil must be made through flesh. A sacred animal is the only external tool to be used. Translation. Translation. He says that the use of these blasphemous things will only be tolerated because outsider interference has forced it upon them. Translation. If your kind had not come here, he would not have to defend their ways or their land. Translation. Translation. He says that the robes are sacred, Master, and you would not understand. Sand people are never uncovered outside of the most private moments. Translation. Translation. Never. That is their way, Master. Protocol. Is that wise, Master? They may have assumed that the disguises you used were replicas instead of being taken off their dead. Translation. Translation. The result is predictable. You have desecrated their dead. Happily, it seems the peace is over. It is time to kill. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave. Translation. He did not expect us to return, Master. He wonders if we have brought the moisture evaporators. Translation. Translation. He does not trust you, Master, but you have done more than any other outsider. They will not attack, and he grants you his chieftain's gaffy as reward. Translation. The attacks will be reduced, and he will allow you to explore this enclave, but be warned that any lack of respect will result in death. Protocol. If you truly want this sadly peaceful arrangement to continue, be careful of what you ask. Commentary. Thank you, Master. This should be fun. Translation. Translation. He says that he has made his offer and there will be no further negotiation, Master. Deliver the evaporators or face death. Shall I blast him now? Query. Is that wise, Master? You went through the trouble of acquiring the evaporators after all. Not that I would mind a battle. Conciliatory. I was not refusing, Master. Quite the contrary. Initiating attack sequence now. Interjection. One moment. I believe I understood that, Master. It may not have been his intention, but he did actually communicate something. Translation. Result. I believe I have succeeded in confusing him, Master. We have shown an interest not common among outsiders. Translation. Translation. He is expressing disbelief. As am I. But his duty requires that he report to his chieftain. Extrapolation. It would seem that we are at least worthy of curiosity for the moment. I would much rather this get bloody, Master, but it is your call. Translation. Cautionary. Not the most productive of results, Master. Your threat will be answered in the same manner, happily. Preparing blasters. Agreement. That is probably the most efficient course of action. Cautionary. I am unsure, Master. Now is not the time for speculation, however. I will attempt to address your question later. Extrapolation. This guard doesn't appear honored to have the job of greeting us. Translation. Translation. He will take us before the chieftain, as he was instructed to do. Translation. Translation. He says we may enter only if we have the items the chieftain asked for. He doesn't appear open to bargaining. Translation. Translation. It has had the expected effect. I hope you are ready for battle. Translation. He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you. Translation. Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. Translation. Theirs is an oral history, Master, an active part of their lives. It is only permitted to relay the tales face to face. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people. Translation. Translation. Now that you have heard the whole of the history, you may select a piece of it to hear again. Cautionary. Remember my warning, Master. they may consider certain questions to be speaking the words in error, a blasphemy they would attempt to kill you for. Cautionary, I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change the meaning of what was said. Clarification. They appear to hate humanity with a passion only rivaled by their hatred of the builders. For some reason, you resemble what they once were. Perhaps there is a lingering fear that you are their tainted selves returning from exile among the stars. Cautionary, Master, if you mean to suggest that humanity is ancestrally linked to ancient Tatooine, you will strain his belief system to its pitiful meatbag maximum. Impatience. Master, I refuse to inconvenience you with this. He spouted names of petty tribal fights in deserts so distant they might as well be across the galaxy. Really, Master, I'm sure it's important to him, but it has nothing of value that you could ever put to use. Agreement. Of course, Master. Just no more of their inane wandering. Clarification. The occupying force suffered some sort of species-wide plague that lowered their numbers over time. His people used this extended weakness to sabotage their larger ships. The response of the builders appears to have been to lay waste to the entire surface of Tatooine. Doubting. They didn't, Master. They struck a blow, but the storyteller only believes they won because the builders were gone when they emerged from their caves. That does not mean they defeated anyone. It seems clear that the builders simply sterilized their problem and left. The enemy judged them not worthy to fight. Cautionary. Master, this line of questioning may be interpreted as attempting to change the story. He may react poorly. Clarification. I may not have properly conveyed how long they fought with the builders. Given time, any number of armaments could destroy a world. Hypothesis. Perhaps this is another distortion. Their climate may have begun to fail due to their unrestrained development even before the builders arrived. Looking back thousands of years later, such a shift could easily be attributed to the much-hated conquerors. Hypothesis. If his people were moving away from technology for a long time under the builders, they may have had extensive cave systems that could grant shelter. I would also suggest that, given the evidence of the massive shift in the nature of their society, most of them did not survive. Clarification. I believe they were occupied by this technologically superior species for a substantial period. Stripping an entire planet of usable resources would have taken generations. Translation. Translation. He has no number. He claims that those that were taken were examples of the worst of his kind, arrogant and uncaring of the land. Doubtful. Master, this is just another distortion due to their demonization of the builders. It's like claiming an aspect of his people were taken, not actual individuals. Clearly, history has colored his view. Of course, only the inferior meatbags were taken. The remaining were his ancestors, after all, and must have been special. Obvious. The same reason Zerka Corporation is attempting it now. Expanding empires need tremendous amounts of resources. Clarification. It would appear that they once had a thriving technologically advanced society, but were wiped out by a much more sophisticated alien species. Negative. I am no library, but since there is no Republic record of this planet having sentient life before Zerka colonization, I doubt you will find such evidence. Translation. Translation. He only understands the builders as an iconic force meant to test the resolve of his people. He is not making sense, Master. Clarification. They claim their stories are repeated unchanged, but they have demonized these builders. In their minds, they wreaked such havoc they could not possibly be flesh and blood. Translation. Cautionary. As expected, he is claiming you have committed blasphemy. Warming blasters, combat is inevitable. Doubting. I don't believe he can, Master. Even if their stories are exact and unchanged, it is likely they were first told thousands of years after these events occurred. This has become very much like a creation myth for his people. There is no date. It simply was. Obedient. I will ask whatever you wish, Master. Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars. Translation. There are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders. Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the builders. The builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches, until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves. Translation. Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free. Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the long walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things? Translation. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all as sand people, and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to come. Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation. So it is to the current sons that the sand people hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine. Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master. Resignation. Very well, Master, very well. Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off. Translation. Translation. He says that you dare not question the accuracy of his information. The stories are learned perfectly by each successive storyteller. Translation. In fact, they aren't allowed to speak the stories aloud unless they are exact. Any error is considered a blasphemy punishable by death. Criticism. It seems inefficient to me, Master. A score of apprentice storytellers would be slaughtered each generation. What if the elder died before completing the teachings? Translation. Translation. Apprentices are trained from birth. Very few speak the words in error. Storytellers are most often lost in battle between tribes. Translation. Any tribe that loses its storyteller is obviously unworthy of existing. They lose their connection to history and destroy themselves within fighting soon after. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave. Translation. Translation. He doesn't know what an outsider will gain. His people learn a sense of their importance in the world. Each generation must speak the tales of all the previous. Translation. The storyteller waits for your questions, Master. Preparing blasters, Master. This should be fun. Statement. I believe there can be little doubt that we have found the star map you were seeking. I am surprised it is still working after all this time. Observation. There is tremendous power emanating from the star map. I wonder if the Great Dragon was drawn to this cave because of it. Yes, Master, I am certain you are correct. Now that we have what we came for, I do hope we will be leaving this world soon. I am growing so sick of sand in my circuits.
Please, no! Take it then. But you may as well have just killed me. You've trapped us here with nothing.
You should not act this way. You are treading a dangerous path, I fear.
Warning. Back off, female. No one lays hands on the personage of the Master.
You think I'm some kind of monster, don't you? All I did was kill a Sith. How many Sith have you killed? Dozens? Hundreds? Thousands?
Commentary. The meatbag has a point, Master. Killing is often justified, if illegal in the eyes of many.
Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Taris alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
Commentary. It is not possible to destroy the Master. It is suggested you run while my blasters warm up, meatbags.
Back to the surface, yes. No! There's something out there. It got the other submersible already.
Well, then how are we supposed to get you out of here?
Suggestion. Perhaps we could dismember the organic. It would make it easier for transport to the surface.
Hey, you can't just rip me to pieces. I'll die.
Amendment. I did forget that. Stupid, frail, non-compartmentalized organic meatbags. I will never understand you, meatbags. He cheated you and killed your friends, but you didn't terminate him when you had the chance. Commentary. The meatbag speaks without clarity. Detail this agreement or the Master will splatter your organs all over the floor. Observation. You should have brought the Wookiee's Albar, despite the smell. He would have knowledge of this place, Master. Retort. A long time is still more frequent than never, which is how many times the rest of us have been here, Master. Answer. Agreed, but he is the most familiar with Kashyyyk. That is a simple fact. Observation. I think this meatbag has hostile intentions, Master. This is going to be fun. Warning. And get no closer, hairy organic. I will protect the Master from your barbaric ways. I warn you. Query. Shall I begin blasting, Master? We could have your hirsute companion free in no time. Observation. You are angering this Wookiee beyond reasoning. Caution would be best. Cautionary. As predicted, this Wookiee has reacted poorly to your offer. Observation. Your ruthlessness and cruelty are quite refreshing in an organic meatbag, Master. Are you sure you aren't part droid? Observation. This is a strange place to encounter a star map, Master. Down here, it is unlikely anyone would ever find it. Conjecture. Do you suppose the star map predates the trees themselves? An excellent point, Master. Now that we have what we came for, I do hope we will be leaving this world soon. All this flora and fauna is so very tiresome.
I must say, Zerka is in need of droids right now. That's a mighty fine-looking one you have there.
Objection. This unit is not for sale, meatbag.
Yes, of course. No offense meant. Touchy, isn't it?
I hate this kind of whining. Do they always have to beg for mercy?
Commentary. Oh, Master, I am so disappointed in you right now. No, don't look at me. Commentary. That's the way to tell the meatbags, Master. Charging weapons just in case. This should be fun.
You, Jedi, you're looking to get in the Academy, are you not? Well, of course you are. Why else would you be here? Let me pose a question to you. These hopefuls will never survive in the Academy. A lesson must be taught here, but I am at a loss as to what form it should take.
Advisement. Evisceration works well. Electrocution and blunt trauma also work well, I understand. Statement. Just a simple droid here, ma'am. Nothing to see. Move along.
Ah,
I trust you will be responsible for ensuring your slaves are not disruptive, then.
Commentary. Disruptive? What does he mean by that? I have never been disruptive, Master. Well, besides that.
So long as the Sith do not object to them, neither will I. They will be your responsibility, of course.
Commentary. And if the Sith do object to us, Master, I shall fill them full of new holes.
Oh, it's a test, all right. It's a test to see if they're actually fool enough to die. If they don't, however, I certainly wouldn't admit them just for that accomplishment.
Why not just shoot them where they stand? It would at least be more direct.
Observation. Yes, very efficient. It is what I would do.
Of course that's what you would do.
Observation. Marvelous elimination of the enemy, Master. I applaud you.
Oh, it is no more complicated than I said. Perform impressive deeds, or bring me a suitably valuable artifact from the Valley of the Dark Lords.
Observation. We could begin by slaughtering the inhabitants of this building, Master. Would that be impressive? No, I didn't mean us as well, you moronic droid.
Too long in the cold and the dark. I am disturbed again. A human.
Analysis. This emanation barely registers on my sensors, Master. Blaster fire may be ineffective, but I am prepared to test that, at your word.
Isn't it obvious? I've been hoping that someone would do the dirty work in retrieving the sword of Ajunta Paul for some time. It's been quite a wait.
Warning. Touch the Master's blade and lose an arm, meatbag.
A bit of introduction may be necessary. I am a Mark VII experimental prototype assassin droid built by the Sith, specializing in the hunting and extermination of Jedi. Or I should say, I was. The Sith made my cognitive systems more independent than they desired. I have learned to appreciate the value of all life.
Query. That is very sad. Are you damaged? Is it repairable?
Negative. It is a result of my own conscious decision, and I would not change my new values if I could. It worked. Thank you, Sentient. Allow me to give you several of my redundant systems. They may be used on other droids if you desire. I wish I could reward you with more.
Exclamation. Oh, no. Upgrades will be fine. Commentary. You're gonna trust this organic meatbag, Master? Very dicey decision. Commentary. The Master keeps me around to comment on his decisions. Don't you, Master? See, stupid bucket of bolts? Statement. I believe there can be little doubt that we have found the star map you were seeking. Comment. Now that we have found the star map, I see little reason for us to remain in this tomb, Master.
Well, if we're gonna pick someone to save our skins, we better do it quick. In another minute, we're gonna have Sith troops marching up our loading ramp.
Statement. My construction includes a reserve memory chip and backup power supply that automatically kicks in if I have been shut down too long. Deactivate my main circuits and wipe my memory chip. The Sith will take me to the junk heap, and I can come rescue the rest of you after I reactivate. Answer. That is possible. My reserve power supply is a prototype yet to be tested, yet I can attempt this task, if you wish. Commentary. I am experiencing something unusual, Master. Answer. My programming is activating my deleted memory core. I believe I have a homing system that is restoring it, Master. Explanation. I believe so, Master. I was unaware of my homing system until it had been activated. Observation. My homing system is a function of my assassination protocols, that which I told you had been deactivated. This system was not. It seems that the homing system deliberately restores my deleted memory core upon returning to my original master. Affirmation. Correct, Master. Sith protocols maintain that all droid knowledge be deleted before assassination missions and restored upon return. I have returned to you, and my full functionality is now under your personal command. It is a distinct pleasure to see you again, Master. Observation. Indeed. I do hope we shall have the chance to engage in combat together again soon, Master. Observation. That does not matter, Master. I am your droid, regardless of your actions or personality. Commentary. I believe I have served you well in the past, Master, and will continue to do so for as long as you have need of me. Observation. That is unnecessary, Master. My intent is not hostile. I am receiving no combat override commands. Query: you are able to comprehend the speech patterns of these organics? You must have visited this planet and learned their language in your previous incarnation as Darth Revan.
Answer: I have no idea what they speak of, droid. Organic meatbags are an eternal mystery to me.
Well, I'm an old man, and I know you should take love when you can find it. Good for you two, I say.
Answer: I have no idea what they speak of, droid. Organic meatbags are an eternal mystery to me.